San Diego State wins on the road. That's really all they've done since the beginning of last year. They win. They're 5-0 this year. They lost, two last year, one including the conference title game. So this has been quite the trend. It is certainly habit forming. That's really, really good news for the head coach of the Aztecs. He's Brian Dutcher, who joins us on Xtra 1360. Dutch, Darren, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me on, Darren.
How you doing today? How you feeling? I heard you guys had a bus ride last night. How you holding up?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, we got out of there, I think around 11:15 their time, and got back to campus at 3:45 a.m. I got home about 4:15. So it was the bus ride was better after a win. I don't know if I'd enjoyed it as much after an L.
Why bother going home? Why didn't you just stay at the office and start game planning for BYU?
I joked with the staff after the game. I said, I expect you all in the office by 8 a.m. tomorrow. They all just laughed. So I think they appreciate my sense of humor. I don't think they look at me as that boss that is just doing things to do it. And I've got a great coaching staff. That's one of the great reasons we're having the success we do. You know, Dave Velasquez, Chris Acker, Jay Morris, J.D. Pollock, Matt Soria. They all are really good at their jobs, and they make me look good.
Well, you make them look good, by the way. Speaking of, I realize this is a ridiculous question to ask, but who decides the wardrobe for the coaching staff? You guys all were wearing the same matching outfit last night. Who decides what you're going to wear game to game?
Matt Soria kind of decides, and we have white, black, and red polos, and then we have a white or a black pullover. So there's not too many choices. So we're not in suit and tie this year. I think that's pretty common. It started in the NBA when they went to the bubble. Everyone's just wearing coaching attire, and it's kind of continued on to college basketball for the most part.
Matt Soria decides what the coaching staff is going to wear game to game. So you delegate that as well. You delegate so much here. It must be great to be a head coach.
Hey, it is nice. And the only thing I give them, like the first couple of games, we all had the same shoes on. But now I told them they can wear whatever Jordan brand shoe they want. And so they got a little swagger, my coaching staff. They've got a lot of retros and nice-looking Jordan basketball shoes that they wear to the games. And that's kind of interesting to come out and see what they're wearing. And then I told them after the game, actually wearing the same thing, I walked back to the locker room, and they're all standing in the hallway. I said, you guys look like a boy band. You're all dressed alike. So we do get a little humor out of that.
I love it. I noticed. I don't know that anybody else watching noticed last night, but that's what I'm here for. Brian Dutcher is joining us on Xtra 1360. The Aztecs win again last night. They are 5-0. They take down Arizona State 80-68. Dutch, yeah, I said this, and you know, I hope it came out the right way that, you know, a win against Arizona State in Arizona State, a ranked team, Bobby Hurley, a coach here who's done some pretty good things there with the Sun Devils. To me, you know, I didn't feel like, you know, that this win is so much of a shock. How did you feel heading into this game against your second Pac-12 opponent, given the circumstances? It's really, it's unique. Can you give us a sense of how you felt going into this game last night against that team?
I knew it would be a challenge because they're very talented. They can really attack to the basket and capable of making plays. So I knew the game would be a challenge, and it was for a lot of it. You know, it was I think a 2-point lead at halftime. They had a small lead early in the second half, and then we went on a little run. But after the game, I told the team that let's not celebrate this too much. We expect to win when we go and play, and so I expected that we would win this game, and so we have room to grow. So let's not make this the exclamation point on our season. We have room to grow. We have to get better. And I remember back when I think it was Bo Schembechler was the coach at Michigan, and he had a thing he used to say that when people congratulate you, you should just punch them in the face. They're just trying to soften you up. You're not as good as they think you are. And so we're not going to over-celebrate this. Obviously, I want them to enjoy moments like this when you go into a road environment. And I shouldn't say environment. They actually had fans in there. But a road game and get a win, you should always celebrate that. But yet know that our best basketball has to be ahead of us.
Well, I'm just going to let you know I will never congratulate you on a win ever again because I don't want to get punched in the face by you or anybody else associated with San Diego State basketball. So thank you for
clearing that up. I didn't feel that way. That's more of a football thing, but I can understand the thought process in it. Everybody tells you how good you are, and then you start believing it, and then you quit trying to get better. So my key as a coach is to let them know, keep them grounded that we have a lot of room to grow with this team.
Well, you must be thrilled defensively how you played last night. Again, some of these numbers are a little bit skewed, but we've come to expect defensive excellence from San Diego State basketball. It certainly has become your hallmark now. You're also scoring the ball really, really well, and we can talk a little bit about that. But a team, at least early on out of the gate, knowing the way they want to play, knowing who their coach is, they had been averaging 81. You hold them to 68 on the season. You're holding everybody to about 60 thus far. Same as it ever was here with Aztec basketball. It seems like it begins and it ends on the defensive side.
That's what we preach. I mean, that's what I tell them before every game. And even the timeouts during the game, we'll spend 70% of the time out talking about offense, and at the end of the day, I'll tell them, we just spent 70% of this time out talking about our offense. Our defense will win us the game. So don't lose focus on that. Our defense is the reason we're ahead. Our defense is why we're playing the way we are. And so obviously we always have to make adjustments offensively, but we never lose sight of the fact that we're a defensive-driven team.
Yep, and last night, certainly that was the case. Again, Brian Dutcher is joining us on Xtra 1360. San Diego State is 5-0 out of the gate. I don't know when it is appropriate to start talking about the map and undefeated. We'll save that for a different interview somewhere on down the road, Dutch. For you, I remember last year chatting with you, and I had asked, who would you pick in a three-point shooting contest amongst the players you had on your team? And I remember we were talking, well, would it be Malachi Flynn? Or would it have been KJ Fagan? Or would it have been Matt Mitchell? And I remember you saying Jordan Shackle. And I thought about that watching last night. Jordan Shackle, a career-high 25 points. Obviously, the coach knows best here, everybody. 5 of 9 from the three-point line. Can you talk a little bit just about his game, elevating his game here through the first 5 of the 2020-21 season?
Yeah, confidence is everything, Darren, and that's one thing I learned from Coach Fisher. You want the players believing they're better than they are. And Jordan keeps growing his game, and his confidence grows. And it used to be only three-point shooting, and now it's the mid-range pull-up, it's attacking to the basket, and he's grown his game in our program. And that's a credit to him because he's an extremely hard worker. And so I like the guys that play with offensive confidence. I kind of say they know their game, and they police themselves. Guys don't want to look bad, and so sometimes as a coach you can micromanage players, but they already know what they're good at and what they need to work on. And so these kids have put a lot of work in, and then I just let them kind of play offensively. As long as they're sharing the ball and playing the right way, I give them great freedom.
Matt Mitchell last night. When's the last time you had an Aztec go to the free throw line 15 times? Can you remember? I'm sure it's happened. It's not something I would keep stats on here or know off the top of my head, but talk about a night where he, has his struggles shooting the ball, 1 for 7. He doesn't hit a three-point shot. Yet it felt like certainly, down the stretch, him and Shackle playing a little inside and out. And, man, 15 free throw attempts last night. He was quite the bully down underneath.
Absolutely, and that's the versatility of Matt's game. He's had a little shoulder issue, and maybe that's affected his jump shot a little bit. But he realized he wasn't making the jump shot and started just attacking to the basket with great strength. And, he's avoiding the charge a little bit better. Every time he drives, someone falls down. And that's a hard call, block charge, but they're almost falling every time he tries to drive. And so Matt's done a better job of trying to be on balance, being under control, whether he doesn't give those refs the opportunity to call that. And so when he gets in the paint, he's very dangerous with his strength and quickness. He's drawing a lot of contact and drawing fouls.
And hitting the free throws too, right? I mean, that's the most important part. Getting to the line is one thing. Making them pay at the free throw line is something else altogether. Did it feel good to beat Bobby Hurley? We had joked around earlier this week. We remember Michigan and Duke and the Fab Five and some of that. You were a part of it. And since Hurley has become the head coach at Arizona State, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's 2-0 against San Diego State. Come on. It felt good, right, to send Bobby Hurley home a loser?
It felt good winning, Darren, period. And Bobby's had a lot of wins against me personally, whether it was an assistant at Michigan, he was a player at Duke, or I think my first year of head coaching, we had a first half lead and they buried us in the second half. So it felt good winning a game. And so I don't look at it personally, Bobby Hurley, Brian Dutcher. I just thought our team played well, and I was real happy for the kids to have that kind of experience on the road.
Okay, well, we took it personally. We turned it into a whole segment earlier this week where we wondered if you were calling up Jimmy King and Ray and everybody there and having them maybe zoom in and give a quick pep talk here just to talk about the history of Bobby Hurley, Duke, and you all.
Well, I'm sure the former Michigan players were rejoicing the fact that we got Bobby. So that that only comes out of respect because Bobby's won a lot of games, not only as a player but as a coach,
Yep.
and he's done a really good job at both levels.
No doubt about it. Dutch, now what? You get BYU. You don't have any midweek games here, but you get BYU. Statistically here, perhaps the best team that you'll face here. What does the week look like for San Diego State basketball?
We're in finals week, so the kids will be in finals. We'll practice, a couple days, give them a day off, a couple days, give them a day off as we get through finals, and we'll play a very good BYU team who we kind of springboarded last season off when we won on the road at BYU. And so they're very good again this year. And, we're playing the second place team picked in the preseason in BYU, third place in St. Mary's, fourth place in Pepperdine. So we're playing the upper rung of that conference. We played the first and second place preseason picks in the Pac-12 and Arizona State, UCLA. We played the West Coast Conference preseason top pick in Irvine. And so we've got a challenging schedule, so we can't sit here and be satisfied with what we've done. We know there are challenges ahead with the games we've got on the schedule, and we're going to do our best to prepare for each and every one of those.
I'm sure you will. Dutch, go back to sleep or whatever you got planned and lined up for the rest of the day. A successful trip here via bus ride back and forth to Tempe, Arizona. San Diego State is 5-0, everybody. They take on BYU coming up next weekend. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. I won't say congratulations because I don't want to get socked in the nose. So thank you, Dutch.
All right, Darren. Thanks for having me.